Mabuhay! Our report for today is the Chapter 6, Tourism Impact Assessment, and the reporters are Leila De Vera, April Lin, and Daisy Lico. Introduction. Tourism development entails change. This change could be the positive or negative, short-term or permanent. It's important that the tourism planners, developers are able anticipate the likely impact of the tourism designated area. The process of the Tourism Impact Assessment or TIA entails review and evaluating the impact of the tourism-related activities on the environment, culture, and the economy. TIA is important as it allows the planners and developers to aware to potential negative effects that could be enable them to plan and take effective and responsible measures to prevent such impact from happening. On basics of the Sustainable Development Framework adapt of this chapter, the assessment criteria should be covered in three dimensions and environment, economies, and cultures. So next, importance of the Tourism Impact Assessment. Tourism Impact Assessment is the important of the number reasons. First is the first planners and developers to foresee what could be possible go wrong and take precaution to prevent such as unfortunately consequence from happening. Parang pinipilit nito ang mga partigong kasangkot ng pag-uunlad sa turismo na lumahok sa isang proseso ng konstolasyon upang ayusin ang mga links bagong aktwal na pagpapaunlad. Isang proyekto sa maling pamamaraan. Dahil bago tayo gumawa ng ganitong pamamaraan ay dapat alam natin ang pwedeng mangyari na panganib. Halimbawa nito ay ang maling pagpili sa lugar na madaling bahain or landslide ganon. Taka malayo rin sa daanan ng bagyo. Wala sa kalapit na lugar o tirahan or mga buildings na kung saan madali magkamali like paglanding. At isang pinakadelikado rito ay ang mga maingay na paliparan. Kaya bago tayo gumawa ng mga paliparan, dapat sinusunod natin ang batas na pinapaunlad. Basics consideration in tourism impact assessment. So there are 17 basics consideration in tourism impact assessment. So kapag nalabag or nabigo kang gawin ito, ay maaari kang mag-cause ng mga legal demands, financial loss, at hindi magandang imahe. So dapat sinusunod natin ang 17 basics consideration in tourism. Number 1. Constitution and existing law. Dapat sinusunod natin ang mga batas. Number 2. Land use plans and spatial planning. Mga plano sa paggamit ng lupa. Number 3. Zoning law. Zone of tourism value. Number 4. Regulation on tourism investment, tourism enterprise zone, and tourism enterprises. Magipag-ugnayan sa mga government ng tourism. Number 5. Building code, various permit, standard for various type of structures. Dapat naka-registered lahat ng mga permit. Number 6. Business registration requirements. Dapat naka-registered lahat ng mga permits. Number 7. Requirements of Republic Constitutions. Number 8. Foreign equality laws. Pantay sa ibang country ang mga laws na pinapatupad. Number 9. Protect area laws. Number 10. Indigenous people rights including their ancestral domains. Number 11. Gender and development provisions. 12. Minimum wage laws. 13. Labor laws. Number 14. Environmental law. Mga batas sa kapaligiran. Gaya ng sabi ko kanina, dapat pinipili natin mga lugar kung saan tayo magpapatay ng mga paliparan. 15 is Tourism Act. Dapat alam natin ang mga Tourism Act. 16. Critical habitat areas. Gaya ng sabi ko kanina, mga critical na lugar, hindi dapat madalas magkaroon ng mga bagyo or mga sakuna. And lastly, buffer zone. Tourism impact assessment tools. triple bottom line approach (TBL) encompasses economic, social, and environmental impact of tourism. TBL start out the philosophy on how companies should be incorporate sustainability in their environmental and planning. But it has evolved into accounting tool considering not just the financial bottom line, etc., financial result, but also the environmental and social impact of the companies. Basically, the indicator used in the TBL are also some used in the sustainable impact assessment tools. So, parang inaalam ng kumpanya ng sustainability kung paano iayos ang kapaligiran sa pagpaplano at kung paano din ang magiging epekto nito sa kapaligiran at panlipunan ng kumpanya. Tourism Carrying Capacity Assessment. It is used to identify and implement limits to the number of visitors to a specific destination or attractions. Its limitation lies in difficult its qualifying capacity due to factors such as technology and types of tourists that come to destinations. If the tourists are flexible, experienced, and quality conscious, the carrying capacity value fluctuate according to destinations develop, grow, seasonality, and acceptance level. Konkosis and Mexa 2014 in Langbert 2011, Skip 1994 noted that the maximum carrying capacity for certain destination will also vary depending on the intended use. Sinasabi dito na kailangan may limit ang pagbisita sa isang destination or attractions dahil may posibilidad na kulang sa kapasilidad or teknolohiya or yung mga turismong pumunta dito dahil meron din yung mga turista na masasamang ugali like hindi nila inaalaga ng mga kalikasan or meron din yung mga nagtatapon kung saan-saan lang.
The European Tourism Indicator System is an assessment tool for monitoring, managing, and enhancing tourism destination sustainability. The system is comprised of a set of indicators, a toolkit, and a dataset. It is an instrument that can be used by any destination without the need for any specific training. It can be used as guide for decision making and policy formulation. Sabi dito, ang European Tourism Indicator System daw ay isang instrumento o bagay na nagmamanipula or nagmamonitor para mapaganda ang mga destination ng turismo. Isa rin ito system na kumpleto sa nais mong malaman ayon sa lugar o destinasyon. Sa paggamit nito, maaari mo itong maging batayan para sa lugar na nais mong puntahan kahit hindi ka humihingi ng opinyon ng iba. Section A is Destination Management. First, Sustainable Tourism Public Policy. Core indicators: percentage of the destination with a sustainable tourism strategy action plan with agreed monitoring, development, control, and evaluation arrangement. Optional indicators: percentage of residents satisfied with their involvement and their influence in the planning and development of tourism. Second, sustainable tourism management and tourism enterprise. Core indicators: percentage of tourism enterprises or establishment in the destination using a voluntary verified certification or labeling for environmental and quality, sustainable, and or CSR measures. Optional indicators: number of tourism enterprise establishment with sustainability reports in the accordance with the Global Reporting Initiative or GRI. Last, information and communication. The core indicators: the percentage of visitors who note that they are aware of the destination sustainability efforts. The optional indicators, the percentage of business that communicate their sustainability effort to visitors in their products, marketing, or branding. Section B, Economic Value, Tourism Flow, Volume, and Value at Destination. The core indicators, number of tourist night per month. The optional indicators, relative contribution of tourism to the destination economy, percent of GDP, number of same-day visitors in high season and low season, and daily spending per same-day visitor. Next, tourism enterprise performance. Core indicators, average length of stay of tourist night. The optional indicators, average length of stay of same-day visitors hours. Percentage of 10 largest tourist enterprise involved in destination management, cooperative marketing. Next, quantity and quality of employment. The core indicators, direct tourism employment as percentage of total employment. The optional indicators, percentage of jobs in tourism that are seasonal, percentage of tourism enterprise providing student internships. Next, safety and health. The core indicators, percentage of tourism enterprise inspected for fire safety in the last year. The optional indicators, percentage of tourism who register a complaint with the police. And last, tourism supply chain. The core indicators, percentage of tourism enterprise actively taking steps to source local, sustainable, and fair trade goods and services. And the optional indicators, percentage of the destination covered by a policy promoting local, sustainable, and or fair trade products and services. Next, social and cultural impact. Community and social impact. The core indicators, number of tourism visitors per 100 residents. The optional indicators, percentage of residents who are satisfied with tourism in the destination per month or season. Next, equality accessibility. The core indicators, percentage of commercial accommodation with rooms accessible to people with disabilities and or participating in recognized accessibility schemes. The optional indicators, percentage of destination served by public transport that is accessible to people with disabilities and people with specific access requirements. Last, protecting and enhancing cultural heritage, local identify and asset. The core indicators, percentage of the destination covered by a policy or plan that protects cultural heritage. The optional indicators, percentage of residents who have positive or negative view of the impact of tourism on the destination identity. Percentage of the destination biggest events that are focused on traditional local culture and asset. Last, environmental impact. First, reducing transport impact. The core indicators, percentage of tourists and same-day visitors using different modes of transport to arrive at the destination, public or private, and type. The optional, percentage of visitors using local, so mobility, public transport service to get around the destination. Climate change. The core indicators, percentage of tourist enterprise involved in climate change, mitigation schemes such as CO, offset, low energy system, etc., and adoption responses and actions. The optional, percentage of the destination include in climate change adoption strategy or planning. Sewage treatment, percentage of sewage from the destination treated to at least secondary level prior to discharge, and the optional, percentage of commercial accommodation connected to central sewage system and or employing tertiary sewage treatment. Next, solid waste management. The core indicators: waste volume produced by destination, tons per resident per year or per month. The optional percentage of tourist enterprise is separating different types of waste. And water management. The core indicators: freshwater consumption per tourist night compared to general population water consumption per person night. And the optional percentage of tourist enterprise with low flow shower heads at taps and or dual flush toilets, waterless urinals. Next, energy usage. The core indicators: energy consumption per tourist night compared to general population energy consumption per person night. And the optional indicators: percentage of tourist enterprise that have switched to low energy lighting. Next, landscape and biodiversity protection. The core indicators: percentage of destination area in kilometer square that is designated for protection. The optional percentage of local enterprise in the tourist sector actively supporting protection, conservation, and management of local biodiversity and landscape. Next, light and noise management. The core indicators: the destination has policies in place that require tourist enterprise to minimize light and noise population. The optional percentage of the destination and percentage of population covered by local strategy and or plans to reduce noise and light pollution. Next, the last, bathing water quality. The core indicators: level of contamination per 100 ml legal coliforms Campylopalter. And next, the optional number of days the beach shore enclosed due to contamination.
So, I will discuss destination management core indicators. So, destination management core indicators have 4 indicators, and this is sustainable tourism public policy. Number 2, sustainable tourism management in tourism enterprises. Number 3, customer satisfaction. And number 4, information and communication. And later, we will discuss these 4 indicators. So, we will discuss first the sustainable tourism public policy. Ideally, should be multi-year and consider environmental, social, quality, health, and safety issues. It should have clear, time-bound goals and is developed with the participation of relevant stakeholders. So, I think ito yung mga policy na dapat nating isaalang-alang when it comes to environment, health, and safety issues lalo na ngayong pandemic. Number 2 is sustainable tourism management in tourism enterprises. It assesses the extent to which tourism establishments are actively incorporating sustainability principles into their operations. It also evaluates the firms if they have recognized eco-certification programmers and reporting procedures. So I guess it is how active the establishment and their principles on how they manage their operations. At tinitingnan din nila dito ang mga kumpanya kung nakikilala ba ang mga ito sa world of enterprise. So next is customer satisfaction. Customer satisfaction is a crucial component of sustainable destination management because satisfied customers result in return visits, multiplied economic value, and more jobs. So, customer satisfactory isa ito sa mga pinakamahalagang indicators when it comes to tourism sustainability because dito makikita kung satisfied ba yung customer mo or hindi. Pag nasiya ng isang customer kasi is mas gugustuhin niyang magpabalik-balik sa isang destination kasi nagandahan siya sa services na in-offer sa kanya. And lastly, last indicators is information and communication. It relates to how destination management organizations or DMOs explore opportunities to raise tourist awareness of sustainability issues and provide marketing advantage and promotional materials. Next is social and culture impact core indicators. So number 1 is community social impact as a measure by the visitors to resident ratio. Ito yung kung paano nakaka-apekto sa isang community ang mga visitors na pumupunta sa isang destination. So next is gender equality as measured by ratio between men and women in the tourism labor force. I think it is way on how or who is the most effective promoter when it comes to tourism. So next is accessibility for persons with disability. So, hindi dapat tayo namimili ng mga i-accommodate or wag dapat tayong mag-discriminate because pare-pareha rin lang naman tayong customer na nagbabayad ng tama and all we can do is give our best service to them. Lastly, protecting and enhancing cultural heritage, local identity, and assets. So, it is how we can appreciate natural destination and kung paano pa natin papagandahin or maaalagaan ang mga magagandang destinasyon sa ating bansa. Here are 9 environmental impact core indicators. Number 1, reducing transport. Number 2, tourism impact on climate change. Number 3, solid waste management. 4, sewage treatment. 5, water management. 6, energy use. 7, landscape and biodiversity protection. And number 8, light and noise management. Number 9, bathing water quality. So, sustainable livelihood approach. So, sustainable livelihood approach analyze the impact of tourism development on the community in terms of contribution to building capabilities, assets, natural, economic, or financial, human, and social capital, and activities required for means of living. Landbridge 2011. So, dito naman is sinusuri ang mga epekto ng pag-unlad ng turismo sa isang komunidad sa mga tuntunin na contribution nito sa pagbuo ng kakayahan at mga ari-arian. So, next is Philippine Environmental Impact Assessment System. So, it is defined by the Department of Environment and the Natural Resources Environmental Management Bureau as a process that involved predicting and evaluating the likely impact of a project, including cumulative impact on the environment during construction, commissioning, operation, and abandonment. It also includes designing appropriate prevention, mitigating, and enhancement measures addressing these consequences to protect the environment and the community. So next, economic viability. Viability hinges partly on whether or not the tourist facilities that are provided are able to satisfy the needs, preferences, and expectation of targeted tourist segment. As such, accommodation facilities, spas, and other tourist amenities must be able to comply with minimum international standard. Next. So, for attendance is define tourism impact assessment. So, and that's all for today, guys. Thank you for listening.